every time a picture is shared of an officer that's committed suicide or ended their life with suicide, what's your first thought?
I have a lot
Other
of
than
them.
that's so sad, but what's your
Yeah,
first thought?
yeah. The first thought when you see something on social media, like usually it's their photograph like in front of an American flag for us in uniform. They look good. They're smiling. They're happy. Everything's taken care of, and you're thinking like, okay, what was going on behind the scenes that caused this death to happen?
That's the first thing I think of. I personally, my default position is I wonder what that poor bloke was put through to get to that stage. That's what I think, or that poor girl as well, right? I always think, what were they put through? Because generally, when you dig in and you go into the back of a lot of these death by suicides that are done by military or first responders, it is literally what we're talking about. They've made a mistake, write them up, send them out into the oblivion, and they feel alienated by their job because, and then in Victoria here, you're not even allowed to communicate with them. If an officer is suspended, you've got to get permission to communicate with them as well. And it's
So
probably
then they're just left out by themselves. They don't even have their coworkers to check in on them.
no, they're hung out like a shag on a rock. So what was their life? And this is, we're going to talk about this. What was their life from the second they joined? They're involved in everything. They love everything about it. Everything's amazing. Oh, wow, love this job. I'm living in it, in and out. I'm sharing stuff on social media. I'm doing everything. Bang, it's gone. Simple little mistake because you were under pressure because something was going wrong. And all of a sudden, you're written up, you're suspended, and your colleagues are not allowed to contact you at all. And you're walking around going, everyone's forgotten me. No one cares. I'm just a number, because that's what that you are. You are literally just a number, and your managers don't care. You need to manage yourself. You've got to manage yourself from day dot. You've got to manage yourself.
Correct, 100%. And that's where I think like it's great to give all to the departments, all to the agencies, to the military, and hey, I'm going to go above and beyond. And I think unfortunately a lot of people realize this when they go through shitty circumstances or incidents and they kind of get screwed over. They're like, I've been putting in so much work. I've missed so many family events. I have been away from my family for so long. I've been introduced to a lot of trauma that's not only affected me but my family. Now I'm going through a tough time, and the department kind of screws me over. And that's where you start to see that the headbutting going on, and then
Yes,
obviously
exactly.
we all talk. It's all like high school. Everybody knows each other's drama, and then it gets out, and it's and I think it's one of those things.
Because then it filters back to management. This is what's been said and whatever.
Right.
So what do
Yeah.
they do? Human nature, they push back even harder on it. How dare you? You've spoken to such and such. How dare you say that? I'll write you up for this now as well. And it just compounds and compounds and compounds. And this is the problem. We need to be a lot better at that. We need to be so much better at that. And I think we hedge off a lot of these conversations in exactly what you said. Hey, Greg, what's going on? I've noticed this. A few people have commented, let's have a chat. And if I say to you, no, I'm fine, just say, well, look, there's been some observations, because that might be just enough to snap them out of what they've done as well. But pulling them into the office and writing them up and sending them off suspended for a day is not the solution, which is what the default position is today in departments. And we just do need to stop that. Got to stop it.
Because it's just the easier option for them.
It is. Oh, it's so much easier because they don't have to have conversations. They just write you up. We'll just put this complaint in, send it off there. A lot of them won't even handle the complaints themselves. They'll send them to internal affairs, to IA, send it off to IA. All of a sudden, IA are knocking on the door. They're so gutless, they don't even have to deal with it themselves. So not only did they manage it, not only did they not manage it, not only did they not deal with it themselves, but they were such cowards that they've actually sent it off to someone else to handle it for them. And then they washed their hands of it because, well, it wasn't me. I didn't do that. But anyway, my advice to anybody starting in policing today, or military, or as a nurse or dispatcher or anything else, is to go to work, do the job, but you've got to manage yourself and don't expect anything at all back from your organisation.